I can't control it. It's not something that I'm actively trying to do because they are constantly seeing that part of me that I wish to encourage. And so,
how do you define a bad friend? How do you know? How do you spot one?
I don't think you spot them. I think you feel it, and I think it's a lot easier for us to spot than we think it is. One of the easiest ones is, can you be yourself? And sometimes they're not a bad friend. They're a bad friend for you because you are not revealing yourself to them. And so they are being friends with the idea of you, but they're not being friends with you. And then you leave thinking, I don't feel good, but they don't even know you. So you can't blame them for being a bad friend.
Mm-hmm.
I almost don't think there's such a thing as a bad friend. I think you're just in a bad friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could be a great friend to somebody else. So I wouldn't even define them as being a good or bad friend. I just go, this is a bad friendship for you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned very early on was like the value of good friendships, and I learned it because of my mom. I remember once I was 19, 20. I just finished high school. So I was 19 and just finished high school. And I spent all my time hanging out with like friends of mine in the hood, and we just did nothing the whole day. And we got up to mischief and was like, how do we make money? How do we hustle? How do we do these things? And then my cousin went to university. And then because his university had this openish policy, you could just hang out on campus all day. And so I started hanging out with him on campus pretty much the whole day when he wasn't in lectures. And then I went home one day and my mom was beaming. I walked in with my cousin and my mom was like, oh, how are you, Buddy? And she's so happy. And she's like, oh, nice to see you. And she said, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you guys are spending this time together. And I said, why are you so happy? And my mom said, because you spend all your time at the university. And I said to my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't go to university. I just hang around and I do nothing. And she said, yes, but the people you're hanging around and doing nothing with will inspire you to do more with your life because they're doing something with it. And I was like, what? And she said to me, she was like, you cannot be around people who are moving and not wish to move. Whether we like it or not, the people around us are affecting how we see ourselves and how we wish to be seen. And that stuck with me. I don't think I took it immediately, but it definitely stuck in my brain. And the friends that I have today I have new friends, as I grow in life, but the friends that I have today, my core group of friends, you'll see them with me at the Grammys. You'll see them sometimes when I'd be backstage at the Daily Show. You'll see them with me at random events in the world. You'll see them backstage at my comedy shows. These people have literally been with me on a journey where they've got their own lives, but our journeys have been intertwined because they always make me want to be more and do more and grow more and change. And I think I do the same thing for them. And we're constantly challenging each other and encouraging each other and playing with each other. And that has been, that's been immeasurable for me. I even value that more than I do, let's say, success.
On the subject of success, friendship, sacrifice, the moment when you come to the United States, you are very hardworking, to say the least. In fact, when we sat down, you've flown from Portugal to, where was it? Seattle to Vegas, then here to New York,
right,
in the last couple of days or so?
Yeah, it's 4 days, I think, in total. Yeah, 4 days.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I don't know what's in your bank account, but I would hazard a guess that you don't need the money. So I often wonder, what is it that's driving you today? Someone said to me the other day on the podcast, they referred to my driving force in my life as potentially being toxic fuel. And I've never heard the phrase toxic fuel before. But the definition of that is this sort of combination of seemingly negative forces that pushes you to prove something, whether it's to yourself or to others, or and shame's a big part of that. You see it a lot, I think, with first-generation immigrants when they come to a country. They know what it's like to be without, so they're driven by this toxic fuel.
Right.
How does that land with you? And can you relate to any of that at all?
I can, but I don't think that's been my case. If you spoke to me 3-4 years ago, and you said, Trevor, you went to Portugal, you went to Seattle, you went to Vegas, and now you're in New York. And it would be, yes, because I went to work here, I went to work here, I went to work there, and I went to work there. Now, I was in Portugal with my friends. That's why I was in Portugal. I was in Seattle because I work with Microsoft, but it's on it's like a passion project. I get to work on tech. I get to explore technology and ideas and work with engineers and, just enhance my mind. And then I was in Vegas doing work. And then in New York, I'm having a conversation with you, but this is not like in a work world. So I go like, oh, I'm going to have a great conversation with you. And I also love being in New York because my friends are here and this is technically where I live. So like if you said to me, let's do this interview not in New York, I would have said no. But because you chose a city where my friends are, I'll say yes to you. And it didn't used to be the case. So now I have made one of the like determining factors of how I live my life. I think of it through the lens of friends first, because I think that community is literally the most important thing in everybody's life, not just my life, everybody's life. I know some people be like, my family. I'm like, hey, you think that, and it is true. But as you said on the graphs, you'll see at some point you're going to get old and your kids are going to go off and live their own lives and do their own thing. And then you're going to be shocked at how it's you and your spouse, if you're lucky. And all of a sudden you're alone. And you're like, where are all my friends? Where are all these people? But friendships are, they're little piggy banks. You're putting money in and they're putting money in yours. And every now and again, you get to break them open and enjoy what's inside. But that's the most important thing. That's my, like, literally, that's my success now.
Now?
Yeah, that's my success now. Before, it was just because I loved solving any puzzle that somebody would put in front of me. That's all that drove me, and that's a lot of what still drives me now. I just love puzzles.
And what was the puzzle that brought you to America?
So the puzzle was, can somebody host the Daily Show when they're like not from America? And it's like just all these things. Can you even do it? Can you go host a show in America? Like, well, this is a crazy puzzle. Seems impossible.